Well, listen, if you don't have anything to say, you blab. You just go on and 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 on.
Voters do not agree with these despicable women on The View. They are wildly out of touch with the vast majority of Americans, and frankly, they should seek immediate.
Here's the reality. When a show runs out of meaningful substance, it often fills the time with endless talking points. That's the reputation many critics believe The View has earned over the years. Despite its long run on daytime television, the program is often accused of being disconnected from how a large portion of Americans actually think. For a long time, Whoopi Goldberg has been the dominant presence at the table, steering conversations, interrupting guests, and confidently presenting her opinions as settled facts. But on this particular episode, something unexpected happened. A guest named Caroline Leavitt challenged that dynamic, and for the first time in a while, the usual rhythm of the show felt disrupted. What began as another routine panel discussion quickly turned into a moment no one saw coming.
Probably been put in there because according to Donald Trump, she's a 10. You know that's what it is.
I want to be clear, though, it's not her first job. It was her first press briefing. She worked in the previous Trump administration.
As the discussion moved toward modern social activism and woke politics, the hosts appeared completely comfortable defending their familiar positions. Whoopi, confident and assertive as always, leaned into the moment. With a sharp tone, she suggested that without progressive cultural movements, Caroline wouldn't even be in her current role. The statement landed heavily in the room. The audience reacted with nervous energy, and even the other panelists shifted in their seats. What had been a predictable exchange suddenly felt tense, as if everyone realized the conversation had crossed into more personal territory.
Ma'am, I'm going to stop this interview if you continue to attack my colleagues. I would like to talk about Joe Biden and Donald Trump, who you work for.
I am stating facts that your colleagues have stated in the past.
Okay,
now,
I'm sorry, guys. We're going to come back out to the panel. Caroline, thank you very much for your time.
That was so good.
What followed felt predictable to longtime viewers. The framing was familiar, the tone dismissive, and the implication clear. After years on television, many expected something more thoughtful or nuanced. Instead, the exchange seemed locked into the same well-worn pattern critics often complain about. It left viewers waiting to see whether anything different would finally emerge.
In a statement afterwards, this young lady claimed her, quote, on-air snub proves that you-know-who will not be treated fairly in the upcoming debate. Now, do you think this is going to make people doubt whether CNN can stay objective, or is this more the same of, everybody's against me, it's all rigged, I tell you. Is everything rigged?
No, it's their MO. That's what they do. Rachel Maddow said last week, she's like, if the election is lost, it was rigged. If there's a debate, then the moderators are probably biased and they're prejudiced against me.
The tension in the studio was unmistakable. What might have been a simple disagreement turned into a moment that questioned Caroline's credibility and intelligence rather than her ideas. The audience applauded on cue, but there was an undercurrent of discomfort. Caroline, however, didn't rush to defend herself or react emotionally. She stayed calm, smiled slightly, and took a different approach. Instead of trading insults, she responded with data and documented examples, calmly outlining how government funds were being allocated to controversial programs abroad. Her tone was steady and factual, and the shift in energy was immediate. For once, the conversation wasn't driven by sarcasm or interruption, but by information. The mood in the room changed, and the laughter stopped.
Divisive and disgusting speech that any president, certainly in my lifetime, has ever given. He essentially waged war on half of the country by saying that we are all a threat to democracy because we believe in putting America first. It's not radical to want to put your country and your own people first. It's not radical to want to have a strong border, a strong military, and to unleash the might of your own economy, not economies around the world.
It was hard not to notice how clearly Caroline communicated her points. Rather than engaging in personal attacks, she focused on policy and accountability. Many viewers found it surprising that instead of acknowledging another woman's perspective, the panel initially chose to mock her. That contrast revealed a deeper divide in how disagreement is handled on the show.
You know, we have seen cultural Marxism trickling its way through every institution in this country. The public school system, the higher education university system, Hollywood, big tech, the corrupt mainstream media that I fought against in President Trump's White House are indoctrinating my generation of Americans into hating our country, hating one another based on race and gender and all of this other BS, quite frankly.
For perhaps the first time in a long while, Whoopi appeared unsure of how to respond. The confident rhythm she usually controls seemed to slip away. Attempts to redirect the discussion didn't land, and the audience grew unusually quiet. Even the other hosts hesitated, unsure whether to interrupt or let the moment unfold. When Joy Behar attempted to lighten the mood with humor, it only highlighted how unsettled the exchange had become. The silence itself spoke volumes, marking a rare instance where the usual power dynamics on the show were visibly reversed.
You know, listen, if you don't have anything to say, you blab. You just go on and 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 on.
Right.
That's what you hear.
Yeah.
When they don't have anything to hold you with, nothing to make you think about what they have to say.
Watching the exchange, some viewers felt frustrated by how quickly serious points were brushed aside earlier in the discussion. When confronted with facts rather than slogans, the responses felt less prepared. It raised questions about whether long-standing television personalities are sometimes protected more by habit than by the quality of their arguments.
They talk at you, not to you, and that's what she was doing, and she was doing it, and it's not new.
No.
But everybody's hip to you all now.
Yeah.
And we are anticipating that you are not prepared. Because you keep saying you going and you preparing when you're on the train.
Online reactions followed almost instantly. Clips, reactions, and commentary spread rapidly across social media. Critics also revisited past controversies involving the show, noting how repeated on-air disputes have sparked public backlash before. While talk shows thrive on debate, many viewers questioned whether constant controversy was becoming a liability rather than a strength for the network.
That you saw live on this program yesterday. Joy Behar stirring the pot of controversy after saying this about Caroline.
She's probably been putting there because according to Donald Trump, she's a 10. You know that's what it is.
Do you want to take this?
So you cannot be attractive and smart? I will try to give Joy the benefit, and oh, thank you. I try to give Joy the benefit of the doubt that she didn't see that briefing. Because if you saw that yesterday on numerous topics, no big binder, I think she might have had a different impression of this young woman who held her.
For some audiences, seeing a guest calmly stand her ground without raising her voice felt refreshing. It contrasted sharply with the usual tone of daytime political debates and gave viewers a sense that alternative perspectives could still be voiced without theatrics.
You would have to give her the benefit of the doubt that she did absolutely no research or reading about anything dealing with Caroline Leavitt before she made that remark. Because Caroline Leavitt she went to St. Ansel College, she worked for WMUR
Ran
TV.
for Congress?
In New Hampshire, she ran for Congress at the age of 25, put out a very good campaign.
Caroline's growing public profile has drawn attention to her communication skills and confidence. In contrast, critics argue that Whoopi's role on the show now relies more on longevity than impact. While her early career was widely respected, viewers increasingly debate whether her current contributions still resonate the same way.
She lost by 8 or 9 points, but she still put on a good campaign. Then she was the press secretary for the Trump campaign, going on TV literally every day.
Well, heavily pregnant and a new mom.
Pregnant. Yeah, she's a new mother. And then she goes out yesterday and gives an... And this, again, this is speaking very objectively, because I've watched every press secretary since going back to Marlon Fitzwater. Yeah, I'm that old. And she went out there for her very first briefing at the age of 27 years old, the youngest press secretary ever, and did a terrific job.
Reports and media analysis have suggested that controversy-driven segments are sometimes used to boost ratings across television. Whether intentional or not, repeated backlash has reportedly made advertisers more cautious. As public scrutiny increases, networks face growing pressure to balance strong opinions with responsible commentary.
Yeah.
I would like this young lady this is her first job, I would like her to do a little homework. Because she said something yesterday that really pissed me off. And that was, she said, there will be no wokeness here.
Oh, yeah.
Let me explain something to you. Because without that wokeness, you might not have that job.
Yeah.
Because women were not invited to that table. Women were not invited to many tables in this nation.
At the center of it all, Caroline emerged as someone willing to challenge dominant narratives without resorting to insults. For supporters, that made her stand out in a media environment often driven by volume rather than substance.
The reason we fought and busted our behinds to make sure that you didn't have to worry about this. And now to hear you talk about it and to hear anybody talk about the wokeness was put in place for a reason. Because black people couldn't get into colleges. Because women could not get into the colleges they wanted to go to. This is all women. Yeah. See, this is not black, Asian women. This is all women. Women were not invited to this party. It was a man's world, and we busted our...
Eventually, Whoopi Goldberg's future on The View became a topic of speculation. While the network framed changes as routine transitions, many viewers interpreted them differently. With shifting audiences and increasing scrutiny, the show now faces a turning point. Will it continue along the same path or adapt to a changing media landscape? Let us know what you think in the comments.